So I'm gonna tell y'all about a customer I had today. I think I'm gonna just start making videos on like customers that are like so disrespectful, out of pocket. But anyways, so I had a customer today, and he placed an order. He wanted like a fish, food order. So I was like, okay, place the order. He was sitting at a certain table, at a certain seat. Mind you, we have at least almost, I think, maybe 200 tables in this casino, and there's at least like 9 people sitting at each table. So he placed the order. How long is it going to take? 10-20 minutes, give or take. Those 10-20 minutes already passed by. Come to the table. Customer's not nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. Nobody knows where he's at. They think he left. Searching for him. It's like, all right, whatever. I'm going to drop off my other food. So I drop off my other food orders. And my coworker was like, did you take somebody's food order in the back? And I was like, no, I didn't take nobody's food order in the back. And he was like, well, somebody's looking for you, and they said that you took their food order. They had a fish plate or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. So I go back there with the food, and then the person was mad. They already had an attitude, and he was just like, oh no, his friend was like, did you take his food order? Like, why didn't you bring his food over here? I was like, how am I supposed to know you're over here? Oh, well, I was waving and you were ignoring me. Like, why weren't you listening to me? And I was like, how am I supposed to know you're calling me? He was like, well, I was waving my hand. I was like, I can't hear your hand if you're waving at me. I was like, you could have just said service and I could hear you. But you should have saw my hand. Like, no, I can't hear your hand if you're waving. I was like, out of respect, you could have just told me and just been like, ma'am, I moved. I'm over here. I was like, if you move, I'm not going to know where you're sitting. Mind you, we got a lot of tables there. So he has an attitude this entire time. And after I explained to him, he's like, why are you mad? I was like, I'm not mad. I was like, you're mad. I was like, because if you move and you don't tell us, we're not going to know if you moved. We're not going to know you moved. We're going to assume that you left. If nobody knows where you're at and you don't tell us anything. He had an attitude this entire time. He was like, okay, give me my change. Give me here. So he gives me the money to pay for his food. And he's just sitting there, and I keep asking him, do you want your change back? Because it was only going to be like, what, $3, $2? Majority of the time, customers are always saying, here, go, take it, go ahead. And he's ignoring me this entire time. I'm like, sir, completely ignore me. So I was like, you know what? I left his chips on the table. Like, if anything happens to it, that's on you. I even told him, I was like, your change is right here. And I walked off. Even his friend was being disrespectful. Mind you, we deal with these types of customers all the time. Never again with that customer.